Hi, it's Derpy Moose 99 here with episode 11 of Series 2, Banished with megamod 9. Now, my apologies if you watched to the end of the last episode. It ended rather abruptly. That's because I hit the wrong key. I've got F8 set up for pause and F12 set up for start and stop, and I hit the wrong one, so sorry about that. I did manage to find a save that's probably within about a minute of that actual ending. I loaded that. I only played a little bit farther ahead, so didn't lose too much time. Just before we start here, I converted last time all these large smithies over to carbon steel tools that uses 1 log, 2 iron, and 2 coal. Now the iron I'm confident in. We have lots of industry ports trading for iron, but the coal I wasn't sure of, so I built this mine here with 15 workers initially. And I see here there's no coal on these first 2 blacksmiths. So I'm just going to have a look here. Yeah, we're 0 coal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to max this mine out. So I've maxed the mine out and we'll see what that does. But just in case, I put another mine here now. What I like to do with these, if I have sufficient candles and lamp oil, is as soon as this comes up, I'm going to upgrade it to the intermediate step. And then when that comes up, I'll upgrade it to the, the deep mine. These are the ones that are infinite. I love these things. You don't have all these old mines and gravel quarries all over the place. So you just build them, you upgrade them, and they work forever. Alright, traders we've dealt with. Now let's have a look. Our population level, we're at 1416. Our build queue is, oh, it's down to 419. That's not so bad. And our food graph was trending down. We've leveled it a little bit with some of the work we've been doing. So let's just do a little tour around the map here. Oh yeah, the other thing we did in the last episode was we upgraded these log cabins. So for the first time ever, we should have some guests in our boarding house here. Only 1 family, interesting. There must have been enough houses just being built as we did this evacuation here. Okay, let's just slide a little over here. So the first thing I noticed is we don't have enough silk for the tailoring companies. Now that's because the kimonos, which is what we chose to make out of the silk, takes 10 silk. That's quite a bit. Now when I look through the process here, it's silkworm huts take mulberry leaves and turn that into silk cocoons, and then the weavers turn the silk cocoons into silk. Okay, so I think we have lots of mulberry leaves. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add more of these silkworm huts. So that's the step that takes a mulberry leaf and turns it into the cocoon. Now, I didn't check cocoons. There's only 54 in stock, so yeah. I think maybe we should build some more weavers too, but I'll do that off camera. Okay. Oh, we haven't dealt with the bakeries yet. So just quick look at the recipes. We could make straight up bread, but that's no fun. We can go walnut, apricot, eggs to make bagels, blueberries to make muffins. Quite a few recipes there. Let's go back in over here and see what we got the most of. Flowers and feathers, of course. Yeah, see, there's the mulberry leaves. We have 9,000 in stock. Yeah, 1,400 eggs. Duck meat. I was talking last episode about what to do with the duck meat. I did remember that if we make some tin, we can turn it into canned meat. So I might be looking for a place to put a couple of tin mines in. You know what? I'm not going to spend all day looking through that. So let's just pick some that we like and see if they work. So turn this guy on to, let's go for cheese bread because we've got the dairies working up above. And I love nut bread, so I'm going to do that. Now, I use 2 different types of bakeries here just to fit them into the space. So if you're wondering why they look different, that's why. We have pecans, I'm pretty sure. 8 eggs, 4 flour, 4 cheese. That sounds expensive. An omelet. Eggs, 20 onions, and mushrooms. These ones have different recipes. That's interesting. Well, I know we have pecan, so let's do that. I didn't expect them to have different recipes. That's interesting. And you know what? Let's make some quiche. What the hell? And I've also laid out a few more bakeries here because we have a lot of flour and a lot of different ingredients. So you can always use food multipliers. And I haven't really played with these too much on the recipes, so just pushing myself a little bit to try different buildings and different recipes. Okay, down here, our greenhouses are doing okay. This lake here, I started a couple docks, not sure if I'm going to build on that or not. And then over here, this is where we had all our plantations and stuff like that. This is where the mulberries are coming from. I decided to build down, and I also decided we're going back to 11 by 11s. So last series I did 11 by 11s, but completely bungled it. So I'm going to try these 11 by 11s, and I'm going to do them with labor pickup and see if they, work to the full production. If from memory, it should be around 860 a year. So go back to that, try that. And we've got a town site going in down here. We're moving this hospital out. There's some general housing builds all over the place. We're about 40 or so, 50, somewhere in there short on the houses. On the pastures here, last time when I was looking around, I was looking for a place to expand. I noticed this huge region up here. And we also have a need to put in more butchers to deal with all the meat that these pastures are coming up with. So I'm going to build another town center up here. There's another central market. I think below the central market we'll put in butchers, and then above we'll probably go more food production. And over in our forest home, this is pretty static over here. One thing we could do if we get big enough is build out from the forest home across the river, and then link up down with our, our mines and our farming community here in our central town on that side of the river. I put in some roads from where our covered bridge is going to be, down to the fishing community and across over to the forest node here. Usually I don't build too many roads through the forest nodes just to reserve room for space and trees, but these aren't our primary source of food or logs these days, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm actually more worried about people walking long distances. So okay, the other thing was up here by our pastures. We have 4 salting houses that built. So if we look at the recipes, there's corned beef, salt in a barrel, salt pork, salt in a barrel, deer, bison, llama. So I think what I'm going to do, we have a lot of beef, so I'm going to put 2 of these on beef. And it's beef cuts, I have to remember that. And we'll put 1 on llama. And we will put 1 on pig, pork. I have no idea how long this has been sitting there unused, but there you go. Bakery, we don't need you anymore. Okay, the only other thing I can think of is to have a look at these. These are our water scavengers. Now, we're producing a lot of seaweed. Now, the mussels, the crayfish, the oysters we can eat, the pearls we're going to trade. But what the heck to do this seaweed? So I was looking through, remember I built a few sort of experimental places, the village kitchen and the soup kitchen here. But if you go into the soup kitchen, it's got a miso soup recipe. And I saw that before and I just kind of reminded myself, but it uses seaweed, soybeans, and fish. And that one might be like a really fine use of that seaweed. And if that sounds gross to you, miso soup is actually really quite tasty. I like it. Now I am looking in here to see if we have the seeds for soybeans. Off camera, I'm sort of buying random seeds. I'm kind of interested to see if I can fill all this up. But it gets pretty tough to remember like what you have and what you don't. No, actually there's, yeah, we do have soybeans, so right there. Okay. So when some of these fields come up, new fields that we built over here. Oh, yeah. See this line of red X's? This is my line of shame. I was building out and expanding. So usually what I do is I lay the roads in early and then come back later when the roads are built and lay all the rest of it out. But I was one off on the road right from the school and this town center all the way down here. And I've built some, you know, farms in the wrong place, barns in the right place and that. So I've erased all this and I'm going to correct that. But every time I see this, the red X is, like I say, it's a line of shame on a little bit of derping around. So I think what I'm going to do, like I say, over here on some of these fields when they come up, if I actually put them in the right place, I'll build a bunch of those soup kitchens over there. Or maybe over here. There's a little community there. Up in here, maybe. You know, I'll find a place. I want to build maybe, oh, I don't know, 4 of them or something like that. And see if that makes a dent in the seaweed that we've got. As far as the inventory, nothing else is too surprising. Lots of, like I say, lots of flowers. In that vein, I've got 4 more perfume makers going in here. I could probably shove a few more in there, but I think our, if we go back in there, perfume is at 558. You know what? I should probably find a place to shovel a bunch more of these things in, but I will not do that on camera. Try not to do the repetitive stuff on camera. Like if I'm going to build 24 fields, I'll just pause and go do that and then come back and explain it. You know, even if you love the game, it's kind of tedious watching somebody do that. Oh, I decided to double down here. So there's more smokers and more fish salters going in. And, oh, another derp. I built these 2 salt works and I didn't build any kind of storage for them. So I've got mineral storage here going in. There's a small stockpile there. So I have no idea where they have, you know, I have no idea where they've been taking their production, but there's a general stockpile over there and probably one over there. So, but they'd probably be a little upset how far they have to walk. Actually, if I go back up to the pasture area here, man, I don't know, the last couple of episodes I've been making a lot of mistakes. So there's salt works here. I put miscellaneous, raw material storage and stuff down here, but salt is actually a mineral. So I'm cleaning all that up. There was absolutely nothing in all these storage. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And probably down here, let's have a look at our, yeah. So what I might do is put another row of houses in here, another row of greenhouses. Like that food graph, if we just have a relook at it, that's not spectacular, right? And in order to expand all these communities, that means you have to build more houses, which means you get more growth. It's like a never-ending feedback loop. Alright, so the build queue is 419. It has been higher, but that's not so bad. I think what I'll do here is put this on pause, let it run for a while, and come back with an update. So thank you very much. Okay, let's do an update. Last episode I did a special order for bison, and they've shown up. Now, unfortunately, they cost 1,000 each instead of the usual. I think it's 600. But let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so with 750 perfume and 200 survival coats, we can buy 9. And I think that's fair. So let's go up to our pastures and decide where we want to put these guys. And I think right here is a happy little place. Okay, there we go, 9 bison. I haven't built any more butchers yet. I was waiting to see how these guys were doing down here. So far it looks like they're okay. They're happy. Oh, that one's not happy. What's that one on? Charky, okay. Our silk area is building but hasn't built yet. Our upgraded log cabins have, all the resources have been brought, but they haven't been built yet. We built another cooper for barrels. I gotta remember to pause when I move around. Okay, down here our fields are slowly building. Our covered bridge is built. That's what she looks like. Kind of like it. The only thing is, maybe I wish it was red. But it does look pretty cool. Okay, down here in our fishing village, I've maxed out the smokers we built and the fish salters we built. And we seem to be short on barrels. Leads us back to, maybe we don't have enough coopers, but I suspect it's going to lead us back to the fact we don't have enough logs. We're 333 on the logs, so I did build another industry supplier, and the focus here is going to be log, stone, and coal, just for a backup. I did max out this coal mine to 30, and so far our smithies seem to be happy now. Can't remember the exact factor, but carbon steel tools will last way longer than the iron tools we were using, so I'm hoping by making this conversion we don't have to build any more blacksmiths for a long time, but I probably should have a few laid out as emergencies. Okay, and let's have a look way over here. So this is starting to build out down here. I'm not going to turn any of these fields on, although I did turn this one here is on soybeans. So I've decided to put a couple of soup kitchens in here. And then I think the other ones I'll build somewhere down here, but that's all for now there. And I decided to lay out some greenhouses. And I just was careful to stay out of the forest node circle here. So there's a few houses going in. There's some greenhouses. Now these greenhouses, the more I think about it, like what are we getting out of this one? 896. Where's our original ones here? 840. Yeah, it was higher before we had pathing issues, but for one person that's really good. And it also helps with the housing, so if we use the scary tool here, yeah. So there's enough houses around here where these guys are pretty close by. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to build more of those. I don't always do it, but I sometimes like to build large towns like I'm doing now. And it gets a little tedious building fields and orchards all the time. So doing greenhouses, I think, would be a cool idea. Oh yeah, down in our fishing area here, because of our log situation and the fact that these dense tree shacks are so awesome, I've put 2 in down here. They haven't built yet, but I also put in 8 houses to support them. And we should check our school here and make sure we have enough capacity. That's the market. Let's bump that up to 605. We'll max that out to 5, and the school is full. And that's a Port Royal school, so why don't we... And we'll just put another one of those guys in, just so it looks symmetrical and neat. Okay, I think that's about all the update for now. Oh yeah, sorry, one other thing. Up here, I said I wanted to use buildings I haven't used before, so I've put 4 driftwood scavengers in. And these scavenge logs and firewood. And I also put some dock wood finders, and I think these are purely logs. So I've put those in. The problem that I have, though, is I don't have storage for that kind of stuff. Well, specialty storage, I should say. So when I build over here, yeah, I think that's what we'll do, is we'll keep building over to this side there. And we'll put some specialty storage there for logs. There's a big general stockpile there for now. They'll find a place to put it until we can figure that out. Okay, let's go back and have a quick look at our population. 1531. So that's advanced about 115 or so from when we started. Our build queue is up to 481. So I think it's time to go back on pause, let it run, and we'll see where we get to. Decided to play for a while on camera. We've progressed a bit. We've built some fields, some orchards, some houses. So let's just play for a while and see where we go. So one of the reasons I built these town abodes was they fit nicely into these spots here. But the downside of them, they only hold 4 people. So I'm going to pick one at random here and just do the upgrade and see what that looks like. Okay, the other thing is we're still in a log shortage. We're still in a log shortage even with 5 industry suppliers and trade ports. We're short barrels. Now, I'm not clear if we're short barrels because of the log issue or if we're short barrels because of the lack of coopers. So I'm putting 6 more coopers in over here. And I'm thinking about where to add some more industry traders if we need them, maybe on the right side of the river here. So I've put a priority in on the greenhouses here, and I'm a little bit worried about food once again. Now my main goal is not to starve anybody to death, but our food graph, it keeps dipping, and then we put some stuff in, it rises for a little bit, then dips again. So let's actually look at the 25-year. Yeah, we're on a pretty steady decline there. And I went through the inventory, and we're still way short on butchers, so we're gonna have to build that out. Okay, silkworms here. We seem to be doing okay on the kimono production. Although it probably would be interesting to go see how many we have. And we're getting to the point where I can't move around if the game's running. Okay, kimono starts with K, right? 1914, we have a lot of kimonos. Okay, off camera, I'll go through all these ports and make sure their kimonos are assigned to all of them. Yeah, over here, how's our coal mine doing? 97 coal. We're gonna need the second mine, I think. Nice row of boats there. Okay, this is our sort of dense forest node, I guess we'll call it. It's starting to come up. Okay, everything looks sort of happy over here. Yeah, this is because lack of barrels. Okay, so let's go up to our orchard area. So I've cleared out some room in here. Not sure if I'm going to put more butchers in there. But I think building this area up here, I've taken the market off pause, so we'll build that now that there's some houses there. I think we'll put a bunch of butchers in there. Maybe a few more down here. What's our build queue like? 355. Just for now. Put in some ones to deal with beef. And then we did buy bison, although they probably haven't. Yeah, they're only at 14, so we won't worry about bison at the moment. Let's go back to our main village here. Now, I did have the priority on the greenhouses, but what if we did the priority on the greenhouses and the coopers? We have 70 builders, they should be able to deal with that. No, it's early winter. Let's go up to our farms here. You know, I haven't gone back and retrofitted the fields that have 3 farmers in them, the 15 by 15s here. If we get short of people, I'm going to do that. For now, I really don't want the tedious duty of going through and doing that. But it looks to me like in both cases here, there's no food left. And we were here just as early winter ended, so. Okay, how's our new town site down here? Okay. Have you built? You are not built. And we got a school going in. Let's go back to our central port here. What is our citizen unit? We have 1,649 citizens. Okay, central market has been built. That's that one. Okay, there's a field up here that's built. That one's carrots, and this is an orchard. So walnuts is a thing for nut bread. So I'm all about the nut bread. Okay, another hospital's built. Where's that one? Over there. Oh, up above the pastures. Okay, and that's why I'm demolishing that one. So just to the left of the pastures here, we have some houses, but we don't have a store or a market. So what I might do is make a little city center out of this area here, and then see if we can either get some more farms or sort of maybe some more pastures in. Like I think Longhorn here, 3,400. Where's the beef cows? Yeah, 42 or 4,800. Although you get mountain oysters. But I think beef might be the way to go if you want to max that out. What's this with the question mark here? Oh, a wood store. Found this little guy, and I thought, you know what? Let's put this in up above our sawmills up here, or roughly anyways. So I originally built the sawmills around our forest home because that's where our, the bulk of our wood production was. But as long as we have enough traders down here, the logs will all be coming into this port. So I'm thinking maybe having that, not that one, sorry, this one, the wood store. Let's watch it and see if it collects lumber, or not lumber, logs. And maybe that'll help these guys produce up here. Just a theory. It was cheap to build, so we can try that out. Oh, what a derp. I'm going to have to live with that. I got some of these going the opposite direction. And they've been built, and they're doing the wrong thing. So let's get them on barrels. Can we add 8 and 24? No. Okay. Now we're over 1,100 logs, so maybe we'll get some momentum on these traders. These two new ones on the bottom, not all the traders have been set up yet, so. More seeds. I'm just buying random seeds that I don't think we have. Just to see if we can fill out that inventory screen. Overpaying by 4, good enough. So our coal mine is just barely keeping up, but none of these guys are complaining. And how many carbon steel tools do we have? 670. That's okay. But we're not staying anywhere near our 1,200 limit, so where would we put more in? I kind of want to reserve this space over here. There's a couple more flat spots and we can build a tunnel through, so it's going to keep this space for mines. Over here, what do we have? A question mark on? Oh, I think this is our soup kitchen. Where are you? Soup kitchen. Let's deal with the fields first here. Raspberries. I like raspberries. Now this is a 2. A no pickup. Okay, this is pear. And I think I'll go pecan. Soup kitchen. And soup kitchen. Okay. Yeah, so this question mark is our soup kitchen here. So we were going to go, I think I'm going to go miso on both of these. So that's seaweed, soybeans, and fish. Now a couple of these fields here, that one there, for starters. So we'll do a few more of those. Actually, the one we just put on raspberries, why don't we put it on soybeans instead? Just given the proximity here. Okay. I've built a couple more plantation fields. Not sure what to use those for, but they're in reserve. This is the new town site we built, and it's sort of the anchoring the end of the farming community there. But I'm thinking we could build out to the left here, and maybe that's where we can put maybe some tin mines, copper mines, that kind of stuff. Bit of a mining community over here. There's a couple of mountains where if we need a mine, we can build them. So I think what I'll do, yeah, that'll have to be down the road off camera, but let's think about that. Now, we had a soup kitchen here, but this is where our test one, just to see what the recipes were. I might put another row of them in, but this one's oriented wrong, so I'm nuking it. Okay, there's our other soup kitchen. And that was on miso soup. Okay, if we go to our port, let's see how much seaweed we have. Seaweed, oh, it's only 142. Interesting, it was a lot more earlier. I wonder if people can eat that directly. Let's go back to the docks here. Let's go into some people's houses and see what they got. Oh, there's seaweed. Huh. Now that's not something I would have expected at all. Okay, so they eat seaweed directly. Well, I guess every culture makes use of what's available. So maybe we'll watch these guys. There might not be enough seaweed to fuel those. We're out of silk again. Good lord. Okay, so if I remember the progression here, it's mulberry leaves, which we have 6,000 of. Then it is silk cocoons, which we have 54 of, and silk we have 0. So I'm thinking we're not making enough cocoons here. And who makes the cocoons? These guys. Yowza. Okay, maybe we'll put some more in down here. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty, but we'll put more of those in. Speaking of not pretty, how come you're there and you guys are there? Oh dear. Well, you're going to have to stop working. And that means this road is in the wrong place too. I'm really living up to this name my son gave me, Derpy Moose here. Especially in these last few episodes. Okay. Yeah, when that clears all out, we'll come back in here and jam some more weavers, I think, as well as the silkworm huts. Yeah, they just work from mulberry leaves. If we go over here where our plantations are, this is, I think we have 3 fields of white mulberries here. That's why we have a ton of them. So there might be a spot over here to, you know, do some silkworms, to cocoon kind of thing. Okay, 1 brave greenhouse is up. Now the stuff that we're building... Now the stuff that we're making recipes out of... Well, let's pick something we like. How about potatoes? Okay, let's go down here. This is our covered bridge farming area. Okay. So I have a skinny little walnut orchard there, one there. Let's go apples. Lots of good things happen with apples. And that's oats, so why don't we go... Let's put raspberries in there to make up for that other field. And this is a bigger field. I don't think we're making mushrooms anywhere. So let's just do that. Oh, cool, we have a fire. Okay, I'm just going to save, just in case I need to save some standard procedure. Yeah, we'll go to 5 maybe. So I had major ambitions of using my phone as a stopwatch to tell how long the episodes were. And I started the stopwatch function, but I never actually paid any attention to it. So we've made a step in the right direction, but haven't quite got there yet. So I really have no clue on how long this episode is going to be. I think what I might do is make a shorter episode anyways. I haven't been particularly happy with the sound quality, and I'm using DaVinci Resolve, and I really am raw beginner, so I want to play around with it some more. So if I have a shorter file, it's easier to render it and play with it and stuff like that. So maybe this will be a short episode. Okay, we have an orchard here. Pear, apricot, pecan. Let's do another apple. And I see a market has popped up here. You know, again, I've apologized before, but it's kind of a cluttered interface to have some of these things on the side, but it's the only way I can sort of be notified of things I think are important, like schools and markets and stuff like that. So let's put, what, 4 in there? That was 3. Let's put 4 in. Okay, now we get a good start here. So we have 4 houses. Okay, so we have builders and everything. Okay, I'll do most of this off camera, but what I want to do is get a well. I'm going to curse the town, but so far we've had 3 or 4 fires and they've been non-events. I don't know if that's fires have been nerfed in the current mod, or if we're just getting really lucky, because I've had, you know, huge towns where I've lost, you know, like hundreds of buildings from a fire. Of course, I usually suck at putting wells in, so that could be part of it too. Okay, I built the cow butchers here. What I'm going to do here is I'll just clear some space out so we have a bit of visibility to what we're building. So, yeah, we got a stockpile up there, stockpiles here, that'll be fine. Okay, down on the dock, oh, this is our driftwood scavenger. Oh, you can select. Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay. The things you learn when you try something new, I think there's a lesson in there somewhere. Really something I'm totally guilty of. If I have games, like my favorite games are Banished and Factorial, I tend to find a way I like to play and then I play the same way all the time. So Now that I'm retired, I'm going to make an effort here on doing better at that. So these dock wood finders don't have a selection on what you're sending them to search for. So I'm quite interested to see what kind of results we're going to get here. The driftwood scavenger has a log limit here, but the dock wood finder doesn't, which I find interesting. So if we're above the 1,000 limit, these things won't be working. You know, now that I think of it, and I just talked about doing things differently. I typically set these to 200 per lodge, and then I trade for logs so that these become just emergency backups. But in this situation we're in where log production isn't great, why don't we just make this 10,000? Now the reason I wasn't doing that was, in theory, the more trees in here, the more food you get out of the gatherers. But like I said, the gatherers are less important to us now, so we'll give that a try. Cool. Okay, so normally I would let this guy plant for a while, but I think we're going to go right to cut and plant. How's the other one doing here? Oh, it's almost built. It's only one away. Cool. There we go. So hopefully between those two additions and adding this 5th trading dock here, we should be okay for logs. The last episode I got to, or last series, I got to 3,000 people, and I only had 4 industry ports. And because of some bugs and glitches, I was delayed in putting a lot of them in, or I was delayed in getting them to function, is what I should say. Down here we have pecan. I don't think I put pear in anywhere, so why don't we do that from pear? And that's strawberry, so this can be peanuts. I love peanuts. Okay, I have no idea if I did any of that right, so we have farmers 122, 122. Steve, if you're watching this, I want another special moment here. We're down to 138 on the builder requirements. That would be a lot at the start of the game, but right now, that's pretty cool, I think. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let it run for about 5 more minutes and then end the episode. Like I say, I want to play around with some of the editing a little bit more than I have been doing. I've been in a bit of a rush to get stuff out on a 1 per day schedule, but I might back off a little bit on that, at least until I figure out a fast and efficient way to edit that produces better quality. So if you're watching this and wondering why it took a couple extra days for this to come out, that's probably why. Now the other thing I've done too is the last episode I lost the end of it because I hit end instead of pause. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to save every time I pause, and that way if I derp out I can go back to that save and continue it on, and with DaVinci I can append that video to the other video. So it's probably what I should have done last time, but I didn't think of that in time. Okay, so prioritizing something when you don't have enough material is a complete waste of time. So why is our glass not working? You're at some kind of goofy limit on construction. Okay, it's that time where I'm going to go, construction is now limited to 50,000. If anybody knows of a mod where you can limit individual items, like how much production, that would be awesome. Because the categories we've got right now, if we pull this up. Now the original designer was only one person, and I'm certain didn't anticipate things like megamod where you have like 5,000 items now. But some of these categories are too broad to manage effectively, like the construction one there. Miscellaneous is awkward. So like I say, if anybody knows of a mod where you can manage this in very nerdy, refined detail, I would really appreciate a heads up on that one. So as it is, we're going to set that limit super high, and just watch out on our lumber production that we don't end up with 50,000 lumber in every stockpile around here. And we'll have to do that just by turning off mills and stuff, which is just an opportunity to make a mistake, but what the heck. So we've got extra houses in now. Let's quick look on the scary pathing tool. Well, that's pretty good. I should screenshot that because that's really good for me. What's our seed trader got here? Horses. Now in this game, you have horses, you butcher them and you eat them. So I ain't into that. Oh, freezing cows though. I think that was the one we wanted. Okay, so let's buy those 8 freezing cows. And let's go up to our pastures here. So that's going to be our quarantine, so we'll leave that one alone. But let's make this guy freezing. And it's at the bottom of the list, so I know I didn't buy something we already had. So I think I've also special ordered that, and I'll buy some when those show up as well. So our new additions here are bison and the freezing. So the only things we don't have we don't have a full selection of the trade animals, which I don't know if I'm excited about doing, is different types of chickens. I think we have chickens. We have regular chickens. I think there's a leghorn chicken and maybe at least one more. I think I definitely want to build a few more pastures somewhere. Maybe, you know, I was talking about expanding up into the space up here. Maybe that could be our pasture expansion too. And that might make sense if we got a whole bunch of butchers working down here and build some pastures above so the butchers are ideally placed. I forgot to check on these guys. So we put some milk pens in. 343, 315. Not as much production as I thought. How much milk do we actually have? 600 milk. You know what? Let's just, once again, I was just bragging about the build queue being in good shape. But I think let's go full stupid on this stuff. And last time I checked, we had a ton of these domesticated animals. Okay, let those build. Yeah, we had 600 milk though. So you know what these things did do is they helped us with dairies. We built 6 dairy parlors, but we didn't have enough milk for them, so these pens are helping with that. Okay, there's a school that's come up. Okay, that's down here. Let's do an immediate upgrade on that. Okay, why are you... Oh yeah, okay. This makes sense. We're gonna change you. Like, my whole seaweed plan was based on the fact I didn't think anybody was eating seaweed raw, or directly anyways. Oh, you know what? Okay. Learn something new every day. We have a ton of beef, and we don't have enough butchers. This uses beef, not beef cuts. So I think we're going to that. So we'll make a bunch of beef stew. Oh, it'll do chicken as well too. We're not doing anything with the chicken. And pork. I think these soup kitchens are pretty cool. Okay. So we'll put those on beef. Which just means they're in the wrong place, but you know, good enough for now. I think one day I'm going to do a town where I actually know what I'm doing. But again, this trying new things seems to be kind of, well, it makes it a little more fun for me anyways. Well, you know what I think? I think this might be a place to call it an episode. I have a sense this might be a shorter episode, but that's okay given the video editing I want to do and stuff. Okay, let's just do an end of episode summary here. 1743 on the citizens. Health has gone down to 4.5. This clothing stat drives me nuts. You can hardly ever get to 100, and if you do, you don't hold it. And we have 4,271 coats in stock, so... You know, if you need a new coat, go get one. I think on that note, we'll call this episode 11 of Season 2 Banished with megamod 9, and I am DerpyMoose99. Thank you very much.